Will the Committee on Parks please come to order? It is 2:31. I would like to welcome committee members Cordero and Toba and Nishimoto. Before we start our meeting, I have some procedural announcements to make pursuant to Section 92-3.7 Hawaii Revised Statutes. This meeting will be conducted as a remote meeting by interactive conference technology with the following procedures in effect for the meeting. Members of the public will be allowed to provide oral testimony remotely or in person in the council chamber on all items on the agenda when the item is taken up. Before testifying, each person shall state their name. Each speaker may not have anyone else read their statement and is limited to one minute presentation on each item. All persons who have registered to testify in person will be called first. When the timer goes off, please conclude your remarks promptly. Persons who have not registered will be given an opportunity to testify following the registered testifiers. Once in-person testimony has concluded, I will proceed to remote testimony. For remote testifiers, when your name is called, please monitor your screen and activate your audio feed when prompted. For those who are joining us by telephone only, please press *9 to indicate your desire to speak. Then I will give persons who have not registered an opportunity to speak following the oral testimonies of the registered speakers. Please utilize the raise hand feature in Zoom to be called upon. As both Hawaiian and English are official languages of the state of Hawaii pursuant to Article 15, Section 4 of the Hawaii State Constitution, Section 1-13 of the Hawaii Revised Statutes, members of the public may testify in either language. For oral testimonies offered in Olelo, Hawaii, additional time as may be necessary will be allowed for the testifier to provide an English translation for their testimony. HRS Section 92-3.7 requires all votes at remote meetings to be conducted by roll call unless unanimous. Therefore, if any objections are noted, I will call for a roll call vote. Written testimonies, including the testifier's address, email address, and phone number, will be available to the public as described on the posted agenda. As a courtesy, please turn off all cell phones for the duration of this meeting. Council members, if it's okay, I would like to take this agenda out of order. We do have item number 6, and we have some guests with us that have come from afar, and so we wanted to use their time. If it's okay, if there's no objections, we'll be taking up agenda item number 6, and then we'll go back in order. Okay? So agenda item number 6 is Resolution 25-149, which renames Waianae District Park to Shinye Nakamine and 100th Infantry Battalion Memorial Park. We do have from the administration, Director Thielen.
Aloha, council members, Chair Laura Thielen on behalf of the City and County Department of Parks and Recreation. The Park Department supports the renaming of Waianae District Park to the Shinye Nakamine and 100th Infantry Battalion Memorial Park. We greatly appreciate the contributions made by the individual and the members of the battalion on behalf of so many of us across this country. We do have one minor request that we do with all of our renaming. If we can keep after the new name the designation Waianae District Park, just because of the Google Maps and other mapping which has that park on there, so that it would still be the Shinye Nakamine and 100th Infantry Battalion Memorial Park, Waianae District Park.
Sounds good, Director. Thank you. Okay, council members, any questions for Director? Seeing none, let's go to in-person testimony because she is up. Please welcome Anita Korinaga.
Good afternoon, members of the City Council. My name is Anita Nakamine Korinaga, kid sister of Shinye. I'm 94, but I'm still his kid sister. I'm honored to testify in favor of the name change of Waianae Regional Park to S. Nakamine and 100th Infantry Memorial Park. Shinye was inducted into the Hall of Honor and given the Medal of Honor by President Clinton in June 2000 in Washington. This is the highest award possible and outshines all the others he received. The men of the 100th Infantry, especially Company B, surely the other companies of 100th Infantry were loyal to country, family, and each other. When he passed, Many of his buddies stayed with him until the medics arrived. One of them took his diary, another his Bible, and another his dog tag, photos, and other things. When they returned home to Hawaii, they came all the way from all over to Waianae and shared the events and their experiences with my dad and mom. Thank you for the honor to rename the park of Shinye and the 100th Infantry. My father thanks you. My mother thanks you. My brothers thank you. My children and their children thank you. And I thank you from the top, middle, and bottom of my heart. Good afternoon.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Korinaga. Our next testifier will be Kimi Korinaga Kepo'o.
Aloha, my name is Kimie Korinaga Kepo. I was born and raised and continue to live in Waianae. I stand before you in support of Resolution 25-149 to rename the Waianae District Park to honor Shinya Nakamine. At the park's Christmas event this past year, which was a great event for the keiki, I noticed the plaque for Shinya in the basketball court. I wonder how many others may stop to read it or notice it, if at all. And I think about how important it is to tell the stories of those who came before us for us. We need good role models now more than ever. We need more of them. We need them from all walks of life, all times in history. We need to tell their stories. We need our people to know that they are connected to heroes and that they too can be heroes. Our community continues to grow exponentially, but remember, roots and exponents go together. Our roots are what ground us, and we need to water them. Certain people, like Shinye, come along and change a community. We need to tell their stories. Did you know that Shinye had the first motorcycle in Waianae? He had a tailor sew his suit inside out, which was unheard of, so that he could wear a different style than everyone else. He bought war bonds and was able to send his little sister, Anita Korinaga, to college from his grave. His sister, who became the Mrs. Korinaga of Waianae, who I have heard countless stories from strangers all over about how she changed the life of them and their families. Roots, exponents, we need to tell their stories. There are so many amazing things that I could tell you about why this should be important to you and our community. Our conversation could grow exponentially into hours. Eventually, we'd connect your roots with mine. We'd find what makes us all community. Renaming this park is a small nod to the power in our plantation communities and how the generation that comprised them made it so powerful. How beautiful would it be that the name sparks someone's interest? They ask questions, do a Google search, and learn. They will find connections, inspiration, and identity. I support Resolution 25-149 because it continues to prompt the conversation and open the dialogue to share the stories exponentially of our community history, our ancestors, our roots. We need to tell their stories. Mahalo.
Oh, thank you, Kimie. Beautiful. That was nicely put. Our next testifier will be Mr. Glenn Keela.
Aloha, Council. My name is Glenn Keela, and Waianae is my ancestral home. I am the president of Koi'ike, a Native Hawaiian organization. I'm here today in support of renaming Waianae District Park to the Shinye Nakamine and 100th Battalion Memorial Park. Growing up in Waianae, I often visited the local memorial shrine of Shinye Nakamine at the Japanese cemetery. He was a hero in our eyes who gave up his life to save his army buddies. Only a small memorial plaque at the Waianae Elementary School stage told the story of how Shinye and two other Waianae-born young men died for our country during World War II. All three served with the 100th Battalion. I also grew up with another Waianae-born hero, my uncle, Herbert Pilila'au. Uncle's valor was honored with the naming of Waianae's largest public park, Pilila'au Park, and later the Waianae Army Recreation Center and the Makua Range. Uncle's story was kept alive by these public memorials. Both heroes, Shinye Nakamine and Herbert Pilila'au, received the Medal of Honor for their bravery and sacrifice. As a Waianae resident, I only recently learned that the Waianae District Park had named the gym after Shinye Nakamine with a memorial mounted on the back wall of the basketball court. Few residents have seen the memorial or have heard of the naming of the gym because there was no public dedication. As a retired educator and local nonprofit, I met with the Nakamine family, Waianae Neighborhood Board Chair and members, and the community to discuss how we can properly honor our Waianae-born Medal of Honor recipient, our heroes, Shinye Nakamine, and the 100th Battalion soldiers who fought for our freedom. With all the problems our youths and families are facing in Waianae, I envision a community of Waianae heroes. I know many of our youths have enlisted in the military to achieve success. Renaming the Waianae District Park to Shinye Nakamine and the 100 Battalion Memorial Park will honor the valor of our Waianae son and the important values of our Waianae community. Mahalo and aloha.
Thank you so much, Uncle Glenn. That was beautiful. Are there any other testifiers in person that would like to speak on this resolution 25-149? Okay. Oh, go ahead, Angela.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES. So under your leadership, Chair, because it's in your community, I'd love to provide comments about renaming Shinye Nakamine Park in honor of the United States Army soldier. So in our lives, what we can do to honor veterans, the people who have fought for freedom, to make it the land of the free because of the brave, is to raise awareness about these things and rename a park. So in our generation, we're pretty much oblivious to war and the effects of war, and we take everything for granted, and we're pretty entitled. So in honor of all those who have fought for freedom, I'm testifying to vote yes for this. And also, I helped testify for the Shaka Bill and the movie associated with this 100th Infantry Battalion initiative. And so next Saturday, there's going to be the Pearl Harbor Aviation Museum event where it's going to be a film shoot.
Thank you so much, Angela. If you could wrap up. Thank you.
So it's an open invite.
Thank you so much. Okay, clerks, we do have a registered online testifier. We're unsure if they are testifying for Reso 25-149. Could the testifier with the last digits 233 please unmute and let me know if you would like to testify for Resolution 25-149? Okay, clerks, are there any other online testifiers for this measure?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, council members, we are in discussion. Any questions, comments? All right, I'm going to say a few words. As the introducer of this resolution, I'm honored to bring forward this measure to rename Waianae District Park as the Shinye Nakamine and 100th Infantry Battalion Memorial Park. How fitting that this is the day after Memorial Day. This is more than a name change, and in the words of Kimie, we do need heroes in our district. In the words of Uncle Glenn, we need to remember our histories, where we came from. It's so needed right now in our community to know these stories and have these stories prominently honored so that the youth in our community can remember where they came from. We come from good stock. Waianae is good people. We have good families. And I'm glad that we can do something to honor that. Private Shinye Nakamine was born and raised in Waianae. His extraordinary bravery in World War II, for which he was awarded the Medal of Honor, reflects strength and character in our community. Alongside him, the 100th Infantry Battalion, comprised almost entirely of second-generation Japanese Americans, fought valiantly for a country that didn't always fight for them. Their legacy represents resilience, loyalty, and an unshakable belief in the promise of America. I want to sincerely thank Shinye's sister Anita Korenaga and her daughter Lisa and her granddaughter Kimie today for helping us preserve and share this story. I want to recognize Uncle Glenn Keela and his wife for their continued efforts to elevate the legacy of these heroes. Also, mahalo to Kathy Hayashi and the 100th Infantry Battalion veterans for their dedication to keeping this history alive. And lastly, to Philip Ganaban for his support and advocacy throughout this process. With ongoing improvements at the park and gym, now is the perfect time to ensure that our public spaces reflect the values and stories that define our people. This memorial park will stand as a permanent reminder that the spirit of Waianae includes deep roots in service, sacrifice, and strength. Members, it is my recommendation that we pass out agenda item 25-149. Any comments? Any reservations? Seeing none, so ordered. Thank you. So we'll be having this in full council, and then we'll take a last vote on it. Thank you guys for coming. Mahalo. Okay, we're going to return back to item number 1. Resolution 25-116 accepts a gift of one high-back traditional bench, preparation of the grounds, and the bronze plaque with an inscription to read, donated by the family and friends of Gary Kent Anderson, valued at $2,521.67 to the city from Stephanie Deegan, to be placed at Manoa Valley District Park. With us today, we have Director Thielen.
Thank you, Chair. Laura Thielen on behalf of the Department of Parks and Recreation. The Parks Department is very grateful for the generosity of so many donors, and we support this contribution of a bench for our parks, which is much needed. Mahalo.
Thank you so much, Director. Members, any questions for Director? Seeing none. Are there any in-person testifiers for agenda item 25-116? Seeing none. Clerks, are there any remote testifiers for this agenda item?
Chair, there are none.
Thank you so much. Members, I'm recommending that we pass out resolution 25-116. Any objections, reservations? Seeing none, so ordered. We're going to move on to item number 2, resolution 25-117 accepts a gift of one high-back traditional bench, preparation of the grounds, and bronze plaque with an inscription to read, donated by the family of William Billy Gilman, valued at $2,521.67 to the city from Samantha Mose, to be placed at Waialae Beach Park. With us, we have Director Laura Thielen.
Thank you, Chair. Again, Laura Thielen on behalf of the Department of Parks and Recreation. Again, we're very grateful for the family of Billy Gilman for the donation of the bench, and we really greatly appreciate it. And mahalo for your support.
Thank you, Director. Council members, any questions for Director? Seeing none. Do we have any in-person testifiers for resolution 25-117? Seeing none. Clerks, do we have any remote testifiers for resolution 25-117?
Chair, there are none.
Thank you so much. Council members, I recommend that we pass out resolution 25-117. Are there any reservations, any objections? Seeing none, so ordered. Let's move on to agenda item number 3, Resolution 25147 accepts a gift of 8 Spectrum Dual Post Accelerator platforms, also known as starting blocks, with the Mamizuka crest on the platform and Harry Mamizuka Swimming Complex on the wedge, valued $67,224.85 to the city from Manoa Aquatics for the Harry M. Mamizuka Swimming Complex at Manoa District Park. With us today, we have Director Laura Thielen.
Thank you, Chair. On behalf of the department, we are delighted with this gift. This is a collaborative effort between the Department of Parks and Recreation and the Mamizuka family. The Department of Parks and Recreation has redone the pool floor, the plastering, and the tiling to bring that up to standards, and we're doing some other work at the pool. And the Harry Mamizuka family is going to be donating the new starting blocks. The council did rename the Manoa Pool the Harry Mamizuka Swimming Complex back in 1999. So this is a continuation of the family effort in that area, along with all the swim coaching they continue to do island-wide.
That's so nice that they're still giving. Thank you, Director. Any questions for Director? Seeing none. We have with us in person testifying Kanekoa Crab.
Hello, members of the City Council. My name is Kanekoa Crab. I'm the president of Manoa Aquatics. I'm very grateful and thankful to be here. On behalf of Manoa Aquatics, we are most grateful for the 8 starting blocks donated by the Mamizuka family in honor of the late coach, Harry M. Mamizuka, founder of Manoa Aquatics in 1979. We humbly ask that you receive this gift to assist your efforts in renovating the Harry M. Mamizuka Swimming Complex in Manoa Valley District Park. For over a decade, our year-round nonprofit swim club has been negatively affected by the short and long-term closures of the Manoa Pool, as our number of swimmers and parent volunteers like myself have dropped significantly since the pandemic and the closure of the pool itself in September 2024. We hope that the Harry M. Mamizuka Swimming Complex can be renovated and eligible to hold public swim meets, which occurred before. In the Honolulu area, there are no public pools in the Honolulu area that are eligible to hold swim meets. If you guys don't know, the 3 pools on this island that are eligible is Kailua, Kaneohe, and Waipio Gentry. So if you guys know the population of Oahu, largest voting district is between Kalihi and Hawaii Kai. And we don't have a public pool where we can have public swim meets. So we humbly ask you guys to fix the Manoa Pool so it can be swim meet eligible and you can actually serve the kupuna, the keiki, and the families of the Honolulu community. If there's anything our club can do to assist your efforts pertaining to the Manoa Pool, please don't hesitate to contact us, as we eagerly look forward to holding, hopefully, the 44th annual Harry M. Mamizuka Swim Meet in the Mamizuka Pool in Manoa Valley. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Crab. I have a quick question for you. Is Kaiser and Roosevelt not certified to have the swim meets?
Good question. There is a short course pool at Kalani High School that we can hold swim meets at, but I've been a part of Manoa Aquatics for 2 years. We've never had a swim meet at Roosevelt, and we never had a swim meet at Kaiser. So I believe they're probably ineligible.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So as far as I know, from my best of my knowledge,
It's those 3.
there's only 3 pools: Kailua, Kaneohe, and VMAC. And a lot of, if you know, all the swim clubs are mostly in Honolulu. We're required to either drive to the windward side or central Oahu for swim meets. And we're kind of getting tired of it, you know. We really want to support the community. You guys know, like, recent statistics have shown that, you know, we have enough drownings of residents as visitors in Hawaii. We only got 1.5 million residents. We got 10 million visitors a year coming. So we feel the pool reopening to its full potential will provide water education for swimming, water polo, lifeguarding, physical rehabilitation, mental health, you know, so many benefits from a community pool. And we really look forward to it being reopened.
Yeah, no, thank you for your advocacy and for your work. I know we had a swim meet at American Renaissance Academy in Kailua, but I don't think it's like broadly open to the public. It is a private school. So.
And it is in Leeward, Oahu.
Yeah,
We're talking Honolulu, yeah. So,
understood. Understood.
thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thank you. Any further questions for the testifiers? Seeing none. Clerks, are there any other testifiers in the room that would like to speak on Resolution 25147? Seeing none. Clerks, are there any online testifiers for Resolution 25147?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, seeing none. Council members, I'm recommending that we move out Resolution 25147. Any reservations? Any objections? Seeing none. So ordered. Let's move on to agenda item number 4, Resolution 25148, accepting the gift of playground equipment and installation valued at $52,500 to the city from Inspired Play Hawaii for the replacement of vandalized playground equipment at Wahiawa District Park. We have with us Director Thielen.
Thank you, Chair. On behalf of the Department of Parks and Recreation, Laura Thielen, Director, we were very, very grateful to receive this donation from the Playground Equipment Company. After they read about the vandalism and the destruction of the playground at the park, they contacted us. They were removing and replacing, I believe it's a federal playground at another location, and they asked if we would accept the donation and that they would be willing to install it for us. So we took our maintenance support people out there, we took a look at the playground, we felt it was in very safe and good condition. So this is a licensed vendor. They do have a contract with us for doing the resilient rubber surfaces on playgrounds, so they specialize in that. And they have taken down the playground and will be installing it, I believe, either this week or next. So we are very grateful for the gift, and we hope that you folks support it because it would be an unprecedented quick replacement in response to this vandalism, and we hope that it sends a message to the vandals because it's really horrible to have any type of destruction, but especially of playground equipment because you're just hurting children, which is really awful.
Thank you so much, Director. Council members, any questions for Director? Seeing none. Are there any individuals that would like to testify in person? I think we have with us, no, I don't think anyone's here for this one. Is there anyone else in the chambers wishing to testify? Clerks, are there any online testifiers for Resolution 25148?
Chair, there are none.
Thank you so much. Council members, I recommend that we move this out of committee. Are there any objections or reservations? Seeing none, so ordered. We are on agenda item number 5. Resolution 25132 renames the Pu'uloa Neighborhood Baseball Field at Pu'uloa Neighborhood Park to Peter Wacon Jr. Baseball Field. With us, we have Director Laura Thielen.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. The Department of Parks and Recreation supports the renaming of the baseball field. It was wonderful to read about the service that this gentleman had provided to the community. We're very grateful for what he has done and what many of the other volunteers across the island do. So we think it's very fitting to be renaming the ball field after him. Mahalo.
Thank you so much, Director. Council members, any questions for Director? Seeing none, we have with us Senator Favela. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Chair. I came over here, I thought I was late. Can't look at the schedule, it was 8 minutes. I was like, wow, this is the fastest meeting I ever went to. Well, it's an honor and privilege to be here. I worked side by side with Peter when I was on the neighborhood board, Lions Club, when we decided to do the program and take back our parks over 30 years ago. But Peter's dedication and moving forward in kicking it up another notch and taking care of the park in our community was just unbelievable. I just want to let people know out there, this is an inspiration to people to understand on taking ownership. You know, we always like blame Parks and Rec, and, you know, I'm one of the criticizing guys, but instead we have community members to set up and really step up to take care of our parks and not worry about government getting involved all the time, then we can have something good, because we cannot always depend on the city dollars because it doesn't go that far. But I'm really proud to be here to testify on the behalf of renaming the park's baseball field out of Peter Wilkins baseball field. It was an honor working with his dad and his family. It just was really a privilege. And the reason why, it was emotional for the Waianae one and the Pi'ilau Park, because it's something that I share with Councilman Augie all the time. These are things that people can take pride in, knowing the legacies. I never know about the Pi'ilau Park council members until I went to one of the veterans event at the Senate. And I was really disturbed to know that, you know, a lot of people in the community, like how the community from Waianae, didn't know about this gentleman and how awesome he was in fighting the war, hand-by-hand combat by himself. But nobody takes pride in it. Nobody takes pride in the park. And we cannot blame the Parks and Rec for everything. Our houseless and our social issues at that park should not be that way because of an remembrance of this guy. And it's the same thing that Peter had done when we had 120 homeless at Pu'uloa District Park, Pu'uloa Community Neighborhood Park. Took time for all of us working hand to hand with Weed and Seed, Lions Club, and the rest of the parks at that time, administration, to get this park the way it is. But again, it takes community members to take leadership. And again, thank you guys for the time. And again, it's an honor and a privilege to be here to testify on his support.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you for speaking about him, especially your personal experiences. And of course, a lot of the words you said about the community. Thank you for your dedication. Are there any other people in person that would like to testify? Go ahead, Angela.
Angela Melody Young cares in support of the baseball field. So I go to the Eva Beach community to help out with initiatives. I've been there at the Clean Water Heroes events that Councilmember Augie does with Brave and Miss American Scholar. And I love seeing some of the cleanups and the activation with the neighbors. And I think I've also been to some of Senator Favela's events. And I think also the Pu'uloa training facility was something I had helped testify for to raise awareness about environmental concerns. So I just would like to be supportive.
Thank you. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
All right. Any other people in person wishing to testify? Seeing none. Clerks, are there any remote testifiers for this measure?
Chair, there are none.
Thank you, clerk. Seeing none. Council members, my recommendation is that we pass this out. Oh, Councilmember Tolba,
Thank
let's
you,
hear
Chair.
it.
Thank you so much. In support, I just want to share a little bit. I think it's my second year in the council. Went around, look at all the neighborhoods, went to a tiny neighborhood. We have all these hidden gems in our community. And I went out, I saw this guy just kind of weed eating, renaming the park after his name. And I got to spend some time with his dad. And, you know, I echo a lot what Senator Favela was saying. And it doesn't take much to take ownership and love your community the way he did. So I want to thank Peter's family, friends, Senator Favela, for working with us in this resolution. And we hope that Peter's story will inspire other communities to get involved and make a difference for our parks and for our keikis. So thank you, in support.
Party taking up agenda item number 6. Are there any announcements? Are there any other comments? Seeing none, this committee is adjourned.